Information and Communication Technology presents educational satellite television programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to our third lesson on genetics. Last time, we learned about dihybrid crosses. Today, we are going to study the concepts of crossbreeding and inbreeding. We will gain a greater appreciation of what these terms mean and discover their ramifications. Are you ready, students? Then let us begin. Crossbreeding and inbreeding are both aspects of the same process of selective breeding, wherein organisms are chosen to breed toward a specific outcome. Crossbreeding is a well-established breeding method. For example, it is used in livestock, like sheep and cattle, in order to increase overall productivity and yields. It has been used for thousands of years, so there is a great deal of evidence to support its efficacy as a technique. There are two related reasons why a cattle farmer might crossbreed his livestock. He might wish to combine the desirable qualities of two or more breeds. For instance, bovine A might be docile and even-tempered, while bovine B yields a lot of meat, and bovine C grows quickly. If the farmer can successfully combine the qualities of these three cattle breeds, he will get a breed of large, docile, fast-growing beef cow. This would be great for the farmer. The other reason the farmer might crossbreed his livestock is to take advantage of hybrid vigor. What do you think this term means, students? Form a small group and take a few minutes to discuss this now.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I hope that you had a productive discussion. When two varieties of organisms of a species are crossbred, the hybrid has a greater number of genes that are heterozygous. Hybrid vigor is sometimes called heterosis because it is the result of increased heterozygosity. The term describes the increased productivity of organisms that result from the cross-breeding of different varieties of the same species. In many cases, hybrids have higher yields than their parent breeds. It should be noted that the extra performance is largely the recovery of production losses through inbreeding. Inbreeding describes the practice of breeding together animals or plants that are closely related. This is frequently done in livestock production. When a new variety of species is established, organisms of that type are usually bred only with each other. For example, do you remember our beef farmer who wanted to breed large, docile, fast-growing cattle? Assuming he succeeded, at first he would only have a few cattle of the new breed. If he wanted more, he would have no choice but to inbreed them to maintain the characteristics that he worked so hard to produce. While it can help to produce a pure line, the trouble with inbreeding is that it can cause a lot of problems, including offspring that suffer from physical ailments and infertility. A pure line is homozygous for the genes that give them their desirable characteristics. As we have learned, crossing two lines results in offspring that have an increased number of heterozygous genes. Students, let us say we have two hybrids, which are each the result of crossbreeding pure lines. Suppose we were to breed them together to produce a new offspring. Do you think its genes will be mostly homozygous or heterozygous? Will its alleles be largely dominant or recessive? Why? With the same group as before, please discuss this interesting question.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again. I wonder what your group concluded about this question. The correct answer is that the offspring will mostly have the dominant traits of the grandparent, pure lines, but its alleles will be heterozygous. A dominant allele in a heterozygote usually has the same effect as a dominant allele in a homozygote. For this reason, the resulting increase in heterozygosity is what causes the phenomenon of hybrid vigor. There are even more advantages to the practice of crossbreeding. It allows us to select breeds not only for beneficial characteristics, but for complementary characteristics as well. For example, dairy cattle only begin to produce milk after they have had their first calf. Therefore, a breed of dairy cow that can produce a lot of milk, but does not have very many calves, would not do the dairy farmer very much good. What is the solution, students? Could the dairy farmer use complementary crossbreeding somehow? For our last activity, try to solve the farmer's problem.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back once more, students. One solution to the farmer's problem would be to take the breed of cow that produces a lot of milk and to cross it with a breed that produces a lot of calves. What is more, if the calves are bred to produce a lot of meat, then our farmer has a new source of cattle as well as an increased source of milk. While this solution would be effective, it is not necessarily the only possibility. If you feel that your group came up with your own creative solution, please share it with the class when we have finished the lesson. Determining what will and will not work and why is very important to our understanding of crossbreeding and of the whole topic of genetics. This brings us to the end of the lesson. We have learned about crossbreeding and its advantages. We have also learned why inbreeding is sometimes a necessary tool during the process of selective breeding. Until next lesson, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.